Has anybody ever wanted to see a version of Pacific Rim where we follow an alcoholic? Well, aside from the fact that Charlie Day was a scientist in that movie, we finally have the answer to that in Colossal. Now, this movie is fucking bizarre. It is a very weird movie. I saw the trailer. The first time I saw this trailer, I was in the cinema and I didn't know what it was about. I was like, oh, it's a comedy about an alcoholic played by Anne Hathaway. Okay, I guess that looks fine. And then the monster turns up and it's like, what? What is going on? And I didn't know much about the plot of this movie involving Anne Hathaway's character. All I knew really, and this was because I saw a poster, was that Anne Hathaway somehow had control over this monster. And I thought that would be a spoiler to say that, but I know that it's been spoiled in trailers and posters, so I was like, okay, it's not a spoiler, that's fine. But when you find out why and how and everything, it's an interesting story and an interesting road. And I really enjoyed Colossal quite a lot, but it was very weird and it has a really weird tonal shift, which I'll talk about. But anyway, so we follow the plot of Anne Hathaway. This is the proper plot now rather than just that short little summary. And she's an alcoholic. She gets kicked out of her home by her boyfriend. She has nowhere to go. She has no job, no money. So she ends up moving back to her hometown, and staying at like her parents' house, I believe, even though they're never there. So maybe they were away. They probably said it in the movie. I can't remember. It was yesterday. But she finds or meets one of her old friends called Oscar, played by Jason Sudeikis, and he gives her a job at his bar, which obviously alcoholic working at a bar, not the best, but it's a job, it's money, so she does it. Anyway, gets really drunk one night and wakes up and finds out a monster has attacked Saul, and this is where the movie gets weird because she's like, well, maybe I'm controlling it, because she sees it scratch her head and she scratches her head and she does all these things. And it's like, okay, yeah, the monster's doing the same thing. It's bizarre, but is it coincidence? Is it a hoax? Probably not, but let's find out. And this is where the movie goes on this journey, and it gets really weird. Like, it starts off, like I said, it's quite lighthearted. I mean, it's got dark elements to it. It's got some serious elements to it, but it's enjoyable. And then in this last act, something happens and it just gets dark. It gets bizarrely dark and it stops being funny and it starts being a bit more serious. And you're watching it thinking, how can I take this seriously when there's a monster and a robot rampaging through a town controlled by... Yeah, so it's weird. I don't know if the movie knew what it wanted to be at all times, but I did have a lot of fun watching this, and it does raise some pretty serious questions actually, which was unexpected. So yeah, Anne Hathaway really does do well in this film. I really liked her performance. She was definitely the standout. I mean, she's the main character, so it's to be expected. She kind of needs to be the standout, but she was really, really good as this alcoholic who's on the edge, but kind of wants to do right and doesn't want to be destroying the city. And it's like seeing her morals in this film was pretty great. Jason Sudeikis is also really good in this film. But like I said, the tonal shift affects his character the most, and it kind of makes, well, it makes the first half of his likable character completely forgettable, and you just start thinking of him as a complete dick. And that was like, it was weird. It was really weird that they took that route. But, it didn't really affect the enjoyment of the movie overall. It just kind of made the third act a bit messy in a way. But yeah. I did really like quite a lot about this movie, even though it wasn't a perfect film. So I'll say, out of all the films that are out this week, Colossal is the one you should go and see, because I mentioned in King Arthur there are better films out. This is that better film. And this is a completely original film, not a remake. Got an original story, not a sequel. So watching this movie is really different to going to see something like King Arthur anyway, because I've been begging for an original film for such a long time. I like my sequels. I enjoyed Alien Covenant. I am really looking forward to the third Thor film and the remake of Spider-Man. I'm really looking forward to those movies. But, this is an original movie that, if you are waiting for one, you have finally got one. And if you're an Anne Hathaway fan, this is probably one of her greatest performances. I can't think of any that really stand out. She was pretty good as Selena Kyle, but in this, she is completely different as well. And I really liked her for that. I really liked the movie for that, taking the route it did. So yeah, apart from the tonal shift, this movie is one that you should definitely go and watch. the monster element to it kind of gets overshadowed a lot by the other elements to it. The monster element isn't even the main part, and the movie's called Colossal. So that tells you quite a bit about the plot of this film, that it's not entirely a monster movie, and it's not entirely a comedy, and it's not entirely a drama. It's all of those things mixed into one, and it works. I mean, there is one scene that I really did not like and almost made me, like, it almost took me out of the movie, and that is the reason for the monster existing in the first place. Something happens, and I'm not going to say what it is because it will be a big spoiler if you want to see this film, but something happens to the main characters that makes these monsters exist, or whatever, and it was like, I do not think that is a good idea. That is stupid. I was thinking, surely that's got to be a joke or a dream. No, that's what happened. That's why the monster exists. And I didn't like that. I thought like it would have been better if the monster just came out of nowhere and for some reason is connected to Anne Hathaway, like for no reason. That would have been better. I would have preferred that to what we got. But that's just a small gripe in a movie that is really good and really enjoyable. I was excited for this, and it had the right to be because it turned out to be a good original movie, and we don't get a lot of those nowadays. So yeah, if that has sold you, then go and see Colossal and let me know what you think if you haven't seen it already. I imagine it won't be out for very long. But again, my screening was quite busy. I mean, I saw this the day after King Arthur, and this film was busier than King Arthur. So I mean, I saw King Arthur on a Thursday and Colossal on a Friday, so that might be why that could well be. And I saw, you know, it at awkward times or whatever, so, you know, I guess it doesn't really matter about that. But I don't think this film will be out for too long. It's not going to get that much attention, I don't think, because there are films out like Guardians of the Galaxy that people will still go and watch. But see it while you can, because we don't get a lot of these original films nowadays, and it's just very refreshing to have one. So yeah, let me know what you think if you've seen Colossal. Comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I have an early screening of a film today that I'll be going to see, and I will try my best to bring the review out tomorrow. I'm not going to review what it is, but I promise you it's going to be a good one. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Oh, okay. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Goodbye.